What's up, guys? Happy June, happy Monday. It's beautiful weather outside. Hopefully it's nice wherever you are. We got all this product down, a bunch of mix light we're having to processing. The other room is already full. Trimmer's going hard there. We got to get all this out today by lunch so we can get all this buck down out of here so we can chop the indoor, get the indoor in here drying. And then basically after that, we got non-stop projects coming down until the end of the year. So we'll be non-stop trimming. It's a good time, lots of flavors, lots of good smells, you know, lots of taste testings, all that type of stuff, super fun. This week we'll be replanting the indoor after we chop it today. We'll be doing a bunch of clones, so you guys will see a nice clone video we'll put together. We'll be cutting probably about 8 to 10,000 clones, and we will be doing some packaging of some product for some other brands, keeping everything alive, watering, spraying, you know, the normal stuff. So first things first, always, we gotta get the mandatory spaceship check-in. Start the day. As you can see, we got the shade cloth up right now, and that is for, we just sprayed. So Monday morning, we hit them with a nice plant therapy, preventative for any bugs, any powder mildew, stuff like that. It's all organic. We're looking real stuffed in here. Definitely happy with the progress. Day 35, so we still have 28 or so days to go. Still 4 weeks to go. Big old stackers already. This is runts too. This is black cherry runts right here in front. So yeah, we'll go through this a little this week. I'll get in there deeper once the sun's really out for the day and show you guys some of the flavors, how stuff's progressing. So I ordered a little microphone so we can get these videos a little better for the audio for you guys. He just finished spraying. I didn't want to do it while we were spraying because editing all that audio with AI and stuff is super hard. So just sprayed the container. We're going to be getting a little microphone here, and we'll dive into more of that stuff when I can talk more freely while we're doing it. It's a beautiful day today. And yeah, I got a bunch of guys over here right now planting. It looks like the construction crew actually just pulled up for the next door property to start getting a lot of the clearing and cleaning up going. Well, really, I'm just going to get a bid because I think I can do a lot of it myself, but I want to see what these guys would charge to basically come in and get all this trash and stuff like that at least out with their excavators and some bigger, a little bit bigger equipment than I have myself. So he's getting ready to spray this greenhouse next. This one we actually just flipped into flower. So I flipped this greenhouse today and we're already into flower before we started trimming. So goal has been achieved for this greenhouse. We're a little bit behind in the other greenhouse, but that's what I'm going for every time. If we can get this flipped before the product's trimmed up, then I know we're really on our timing and all is well. I am happy. Everything looks great in here. We got a nice praying going on. Flipped means, just so those who are not aware, flipped means I just flipped the lights from 18 hours of light and 6 hours of dark to 12 hours of light and 12 hours of dark. What this does is it flips the plant into flower so the buds start growing instead of the vertical growth. However, the first 3 weeks of flower, the plants do a very bush out and vertical growth. That's what they do for the first 3 weeks, and then after, for the next 4, 5, 6 weeks, depending on what type of strain you have, they will do a flowering. So these branches will bush out, and then come day 14, 15, about 2 weeks in, you'll start seeing the fur balls, hairs come in, and then come day 21, you are going to really start seeing bud development and growth until the finish. Closing the blackouts now to get the spraying going. Yes, sir. So these emitters will clog once in a while, and we need to go through and open them up, get them dripping again, basically, so the plants are getting fit, of course. Automated, not automatic. It's one of my sayings. Maybe that'll be my new saying on here, because that's how it is. You gotta keep checking on all the equipment. Works 90% of the time. You gotta be checking on stuff all the time. So we're about to get that sprayed behind me. Spray setup is sick. And let's see what we got going on in the rosin wrangler. Jordan, what you doing? Getting a count. Getting a count of clones. Sure. Very nice, very nice. Looking good in here. Everything's starting to get a little bit of vertical growth. Here and there, ones that maybe weren't quite rooted enough might need replacing. That's what we're doing today. And we planted the rest of the 4-inch out over there today. This house we are going to be processing right after the small house, and this one will not be in flower by the time we get to processing. A little behind in here, but it's good because we can get all those 4-inch vegging for the other farm real quick, get those nice and pretty in a nice controlled environment, you know, lights, fans, dehums, all the 9 yards or whatever they say, the saying. So yeah, we'll bang all those 4-inch out in here, give it 2-3 weeks, those things will be ready to go into the beds over at the golf course. Those are those 4 greenhouses that you've seen in the previous video. That's when we'll have that place fully tilled and remended and obviously harvested, and we'll be processing that product next after the indoor. I'm excited. This is the mycos we use. So what this does is we take a rooted clone, and when we plant it into soil, we sprinkle a little of that in the hole. Plant the roots, make sure they're touching that, and that really gets them jumping, really creates an environment for the roots to really take off and go. You can see what was just planted versus what's been in here. Like, see how much nicer these look just after a week. Not even a week, like 3 days, 4 days. We did this, Thursday, Friday last week. So yeah, in 3 days. Looking good. Everything will bounce in here. We were using those trays of 98, which I like the trays of 50 for doing clones because you can take a little bit bigger clones, but for space, for how many clones I need to get going at this time of year and what I have for a clone container, we need to use the trays of 98. So that's why these clones start off a little bit smaller. You're gonna see as now things are all set, we won't need as many clones for the next runs and the outdoor runs and stuff. We start spreading stuff out a little bit more. You will see we'll do the 50 trays and the 72 trays, and the clones will be bigger when we're planting them. They'll be a little bit nicer. It's just a space thing. You can take really small clones and slam them in there, and it just takes a little longer to veg. It's no big deal. It's just, you know, what you're working with, what you're trying to plant, what you need to do. Many ways to skin a cat, depending what you need, your process, and all that type of stuff. Man, what a great weekend. Summer, sun's out, family weekend. My son's best friend, his family came out. We took the boat. We took the skis. Spent the whole weekend at the lake, just, you know, enjoying life. You got to, I love what I do with work, but you still got to live sometimes too, and remember to relax and hang with your loved ones and, you know, live life, basically. Like, you can't always be working, even if you love what you do. Let's check the indoor out. This is coming down today. Turn the fans off, turn the lights on, so you guys can hear me. This puppy's coming down today. Super stacked, super good looking bud. Super good focus, look at that. Unicorn runts, just looking stellar. So we actually took this batch 67 days. Is that right? Yes, 67 days. A little over 9 weeks. I would have taken it a couple days ago, but the drying room was not ready. It was completely full. Nothing is overdone in here. Everything looks perfect. I still see here and there 1 or 2 white hairs. Not really much at all. This stuff is completely done. Really colorful run in here right now. I'm really excited about these strains, the nerds behind me. Gelato 41, it's really underrated. I just love the smoke. Always comes out really good for us. And then the Unicorn Runts, which I'm definitely going to plant in here this next run. The Unicorn Runts is probably the best product out of here this run. As far as quality goes, I think the weight is going to go to the Gelato 41. And then this Nerds has the most color. So different nuances, different strains. I haven't smoked this Nerds yet, and I'm very curious, because it smells phenomenal. Big stacks for a candy strain. But yeah, we'll get this in the drying room now. 14 days, 12 to 14 days or so in there at 60-60. That's 60 degrees, 60% humidity. Then this product will be ready to hit the processing. And wow, look at that. There we go. Yeah. Just real nice color, trichome levels, frost. So yeah, I forgot what I was saying there. This weed's fire. I know that. This gelato is straight boulders. Good little bit of color for 41 as well. There's their picture of the whole room. All the leaves faded. Nice dark purple color. My guess, 131 pounds. We'll get this stuff into my lungs in about, I don't know, 14 days. I'm very excited about the flavors in there. Shit looks top quality. Lights are kind of dialed in. Me and Dawn, my head of cultivation, we really know what we are doing with those lights now. They are so powerful, those LEDs. Switching from HPS to LED in an indoor is a crazy transition, and it really takes some dialing in. So it looks like these guys are planting the rest of the 4-inch right now. This is the Mycos I was talking about, putting all the Mycos in the holes. See Alicia here. Sprinkling them holes.
Sprinkling some love.
Yeah. So we're done planting all the 4-inch we needed for the day, and it is time to harvest finally. Set my truck up right here. I'll just open that garage door right there, and then we will just put everything on the flatbed here. I'll back it up, fill the drying room behind me, and yeah, we'll be good to go. Yes, sirree. Some people hate on the small batch, but it's like, dude, compared to these massive farms in fucking SoCal, compared to these giants and like every normal other ag farm, we're tiny. Like, that's my house. And this is one greenhouse right here. Yes, we have a couple other properties and stuff, but like, still, we are not huge. Like, come on. Driving into our other farm, we gotta come here now to open the sides and the tops. They don't open automatically, and with the summer months ahead, we'll be able to leave them open once the nights are above 60 degrees, but we're still getting some cold nights, but real hot days. So we are opening the sides and the tops about 10 a.m. and closing them at about 6 because all the product's about to finish. So gotta keep the trichomes ripe, fresh, and not burnt and busted. Here's us pulling up to the golf course right now. Back over to house 1, 2, 3, and 4. See how we're looking here today. Yeah, these are looking great. Big size. This is all the lemon cherry sherbet house right here. I'm expecting at least 100, probably closer to 150 pounds out of this house. Got that nice candy sweet nose. You can see the hairs, if you can see on this camera, some of them are starting to turn red. Now, we'll look at them under a scope, but when they're about 75-80% red to the naked eye, they're about finished. You know, some maybe a little bit more 90, kind of depends the cultivar, the strain you're rocking. Plus, I mean, you know, if you have dry space or like what's going on, you know, with all your other projects, lay the pros and cons of everything. Maybe this goes a couple extra days or a couple less days to time something else correctly to harvest something else and put it in that room or that drying room. Or are the clones needing to go in here right now? If they do, then, you know, these can come down maybe a couple days early. Like, a couple days ain't gonna hurt anything. Ideally, you look under the microscope and take them, you know, right when the trichomes are pretty much ripe. With this strain, that's anywhere between day 58 and 62, I'd say, with my experience with this lemon cherry sherbet. Right about there seems to be about right. It also depends on your conditions. Is there lights? No lights. What is it? Indoor? Is it mixed light? All that type of stuff. LEDs over HPS. LEDs, I've noticed the life cycle of strains is longer. It adds a couple days. If you're under LEDs, you'll see more white hair grow, or the hairs will stay white longer. The plants tend to want to be alive longer. They take longer to ripen under LEDs, my experience. It just really depends, your environment, your cultivar, like everything. It's a plant, all changing stuff. So yeah, let's go check out some of these other houses. So you can see we hit about 90 degrees, 91 degrees now. So I'm gonna open the roofs, I'm gonna open the sides, and that'll drop the temperature tremendously in these greenhouses. Let's see what we're at back in this one, because I forgot I was talking to you guys. We are 88 degrees, so right about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, come over, pop these things open. It's June 2nd, so come July, we'll just leave them open, probably. When the blackout closes at night, that secures the night warmth. Yeah, so I'm gonna open all these real quick. You just take these spindles right here, super simple, and you just twist it till the whole side comes up. So I'm gonna do that real quick.
See if this works. Just like that.
So the black cherry gelato behind me is another one I think will easy hit 150. Like, look at the size of these. Just massive bud structure. Everything is super consistent, super level. With big old purple buds. About 2 weeks to go. You can see most of the hairs are still white. Some are starting to turn orange. Look at that. I always really like this strain for the yield. Gelato is a good strain. Everyone tends to want it. Look at the bud sites here. Look at that. House 2 is rocking. We're on full flush right now. So what that means is we're just giving these plants water, no food. We're rinsing them out of all the nutrients in the soil. This also helps for getting the soil ready for the next run. There's not a bunch of nutrients left in for flowering plants. So we're gonna flush that out. It helps these plants finish. It helps get to that nice smooth smoke you're looking for on your throat and all that. That nice white ash that everyone's looking for nowadays. A good 14-day flush is what we do. Some people do less. Some people feed till the end. Again, many ways to skin a cat. What we do is a nice solid flush, especially in these beds that we are going to plant in right away and get another run going again. Stoked about the progress in here. Stoked about the quality. Stoked about the size. First run of the year. Depths is about to come down, baby. Let's go. So you remember when we were in the rosin wrangler and I was talking about the small clone tech versus the big clone tech. So you've seen the small clones now. These are the big clones I was talking about, where we don't need as much space, so we can do trays with more clones. Look at that rooting. Nice, they're about twice the size. We don't have to cut off all this extra leaf like we do in the smaller clone trays. Those are the smaller ones. These are the bigger ones. So just two different ways to do it. You see, these are the bigger ones right here. The bigger ones starting to root. The bigger ones are actually a lot quicker to plug because we're not cutting off all this excess to really stuff a bunch in a tray. We're just, cutting the clone off the plant and plugging it in, really. These ones, you can see the leaves are all cut down. They can really fit 98 per tray, because that's really stuffing them in them. A lot less issues when you're spreading them out and doing the 50 counts or the 72 counts. We do these rock wool ones, and we also do these Ivort ones. I actually prefer the Ivort ones. So moving forward, you're gonna see a lot more of the Ivort ones when we are doing the bigger sets. It's just sometimes when we go to the store, it depends what they have or what we have ordered. Sometimes they'll run out of cubes. We're ordering tons at a time. Sometimes we'll get deals on the rock wool, so we're like, oh, this is super cheap, and it makes the same clone, so it's like, we'll take the deal. And or sometimes someone will give us something new to try, and we'll do that. So looks like they're turning off the lights right now for spring, so we'll see. So this garage door here is only really open when we're harvesting, because otherwise we'll just go through the door on the other side. Stuff room. Look at the quality of some of these. Wow. Looking real good in here. I'm super excited to smoke this Nerds. Gelato is always good to have in this head stash, and then the Unicorn Runs is a good one too. Wow. Beautiful run. So we'll come in here, we'll cut up the bottom trellis. We can usually raise this second one, or we'll just cut it. We'll probably cut it on these. These things are so stacked, and raising the trellis above it is gonna be a pain in the ass. But we're gonna get this all harvested right now, get the whole team in here, start with the Unicorn Runs, hit the Gelato 41, and then we're gonna go to the Nerds. Beautiful. Beautiful. Guys, so we got the whole indoor chop behind me. That was 800 plants. We moved all the mixed light into the other room, the processing trimming room for all the trimmers. They're getting on that. We got the black cherry runts and the unicorn runts being processed first, and I'm gonna go grab a couple buds of that because it's been a long ass day and I'm trying to smoke some weed because I love weed. So let's go do that.